It's exactly what we feared. Bangladesh wants Sheikh Hasina to return, not to bury old differences, but to stand trial, to answer for her alleged crimes. And who's saying this? The new interim foreign minister of Bangladesh. He says a number of cases have been filed against Sheikh Hasina, so Dhaka will have to demand her return. Basically, they want to extradite Sheikh Hasina. Just one problem though, Hasina is still in New Delhi. Her son says that she is not seeking asylum anywhere. So if an official extradition request is made, the ball will be in India's court. And the foreign minister knows this. Listen to his statement. I'm quoting, "That creates an embarrassing situation for the Indian government. New Delhi knows this and I'm sure they will take care of it." Not exactly a positive statement. If you know it will embarrass India, why do it at all? Why not let it slide? Perhaps because of the domestic sentiment. The public in Bangladesh is demanding justice. More than 400 people were killed in the anti-hasina protests. Their families blame the ousted Prime Minister for their deaths. At least 3 cases have been filed against her, and one of them is a murder case. 3 of her ministers are already in jail. They were arrested while trying to flee the country. Plus, Sheikh Hasina remains a volatile player. Consider what happened this week. Hasina released her first public statement. She asked her supporters to rally on the 15th of August. It's a national mourning day in Bangladesh. It marks the death anniversary of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, the country's founder, and Sheikh Hasina's father. And what happened on that day, 15th August? More violence. Hasina's supporters did gather to mourn Mujib, but they were attacked by other political parties. So the interim regime's logic is quite clear. If Hasina is at large, she can influence Bangladesh politics, which is why they may look to extradite her. Which brings us to India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke to Mohammad Yunus today. He voiced support for a stable and democratic Bangladesh. It was their first conversation since Yunus took charge. And what about extradition? India's foreign ministry was asked about this. The spokesperson called it a hypothetical situation. Listen in.
आपने जो बात किया एक्सट्रेडिशन का, तो ये तो बड़ा एक हाइपोथेटिकल सा सवाल है ना? तो इस पे हम लोग की हमारा ये कहना हुआ कि इट इज़ नॉट अ प्रैक्टिस टू आंसर हाइपोथेटिकल क्वेश्चंस.
It's clearly a tricky question. So let's understand what is at stake. The technicalities first. India and Bangladesh do have an extradition treaty, so a convict or an under trial can be sent across the border. We have the laws in place. But we have some exceptions. Say the convict is seeking asylum in India or she's considered a political prisoner, then extradition rules do not apply. You may think Sheikh Hasina fits that bill, but the fact is we don't know yet. The Indian government has not revealed her status. She could be a guest or a refugee or an asylum seeker. As of now, it is unclear. But frankly, this is not about the technicality. This will be a political call. India has 3 factors to consider. Number 1, you can't be seen as dumping a friend. India's relationship with Sheikh Hasina goes back decades. New Delhi gave her refuge in 1975. She stayed here after soldiers killed her family. You can't just flush that history down the drain. Plus, Sheikh Hasina faces serious charges. Murder is punishable by death in Bangladesh, and Hasina is accused of murder, so her freedom and life hangs in the balance. That's the first thing to consider. Factor number 2, resetting ties. India has a new strategic goal in Dhaka. Retain as much influence as possible and fend off Chinese or Pakistani designs. To do that, you need the new power brokers in your corner. If not, India may lose strategic space. Which brings us to the final factor, the impact on minorities. Prime Minister Modi spoke about this yesterday in his Independence Day speech. The status of Hindus is a big concern for India. Many of them have already been targeted. If India refuses to extradite Hasina, the attacks may intensify. Mobs may channel their anger at Hindus. So these are the 3 factors at play. I know it sounds like a tough situation. It is, but there is also a way out. And that is quiet diplomacy. Stop Dhaka from publicly talking about extradition or indeed filing a request. Also try to stop Hasina from releasing these statements. They don't help her or India. After that, it's a waiting game. Initial reports said that Hasina was looking for asylum in the UK or in Finland. If those moves succeed, Problem solved. Once Hasina leaves Indian soil, it is not New Delhi's concern. Of course, all of this is easier said than done. It will take a lot of diplomatic maneuvering. And don't forget the optics. Hasina may be gone, but India is still the senior partner in this relationship, so New Delhi cannot be seen as being pushed around. It will be a tough tightrope walk for the Indian leadership. We'll be tracking all the updates for you.
Across continents, one powerful news source.
Bringing you diverse perspectives on the issues that matter.
We go beyond the boundaries to give you that little extra about every sporting moment.
So thank you for making Firstpost 5 million strong. We're counting on your support, and you can trust us to bring you the news unfiltered and unvarnished.
Climate change is on our doorstep. It's time for a revolution to take root. And it starts with 1.4 billion Indians. It starts with one tree for humanity, one tree for Mother Earth, one tree for our future. Project One Tree, a News 18 network initiative.